Hello everybody, this is Shirley Henderson from ShareWork.com, and today's episode of Share's podcast, it is Sher On, Doing Good as a Method of Preventing Drug Addiction by Shirley Henderson and featuring Mathias, Groennebaek. Let's get started. One of the things, Mathias, he was tweeting in his Twitter account very happily, and it caught my eye when he said this. This is really important. The cure to addiction is compassion, not punishment. And that just sparked my attention, sparked my creativity, and inspired me to write this article. And I really thank you, Mathias. Thank you so much for your contribution. And this is what I come out with. We are but humans, full of failures, mistakes, and weaknesses. We learn that we can treat addiction with compassion and with less punitive punishments. Treat it more like an illness, less than a crime. That is the way we pursue around the world. I think that in the 50s, people were not so tempted to drugs. But we also can say that in the old days, people use things instead of people, and nowadays people get used instead of things, even as an end result, pain and suffering. So let's explore accountability, satisfaction, which I think they go together with ego. People are not accountable for their actions as long as they get satisfaction, even for a period of time. It does not matter. What they're thinking is, this is my life, you only live once. But what about the next morning? What about the next day? When your marriage and your career, your reputation, it is destroyed. Remember, it takes 30 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to destroy it. So how can we prevent addiction? Well, this is a tough one because we will include we need to include become accountable. I think that is the most important. Become accountable for your actions, for your behavior. That is the most important. And to be satisfied with what we have, and to be unselfish enough to care for the people that you love, the people around you who cares for you enough, and to not to toss them like garbage, at any moment of excitement. So nobody's perfect. We should not be hard on one another, thinking that, my job, my marriage, should be responsible for my happiness. We need to be accountable for our mood and, and our right state of mind, for not to just run through whatever things is shining and then we toss everything, our lives, for that shiny object that will disappear more than likely. We can understand that some people are the ones who are the victim side per se, and are the ones who got hurt by the selfish person. In any case, the victim may have an excuse to fall into the trap of using drugs as a method of coping with the pain, and the infractor as a method to cope with the regret of losing everything in a moment of weakness and ego. There's so much there's more scenarios that we can talk in this article, but, we have this short period of time, and we're going to go steps. I think this topic, it has so much to be talked about. So I agree, in Twitter, this is where I replied to Mathias, I agree. Mathias, the implementation of compassion for the rehabilitation of people struggling with drug addiction give us hope for a positive outcome at large scale. Imagine if we reinforce love and connection with meaningful relationships for people before they become addicted. So what I'm talking about here is how can we prevent people on the first place to become addicted. So I think this is the meat and potatoes, of everything, of this cure, this horrific thing. It is prevention. And so how can we prevent that? Okay, prevention is a great word, but the action of preventing this is what is the most important. All right, I have only 4 more minutes. We need to build communities where people can care for one another. If they're far away from their families, they need to find educational groups, build friendships with like-minded people. They can have meaningful conversations. Remember, every time you have a meaningful job and a meaningful relationship, that takes you away from the, trying to ease the pain or getting distracted or, I don't know. I think it's important that you become busy with something that gives you some type of... You need to think that you're doing a good in the world. I think that is the most important. So, the human potential is unleashed by the activity of meaningful jobs and relationships. We should strive at helping one another. Then we might have a chance to switch addiction to the addiction of doing good, because it is more effective to substitute the addiction than to cure it. Think about this. This is the closure, the conclusion. Think about this. When we are doing good, we tend to do less bad. Yes, we cannot put 2 things in the same place, I can only put this, I cannot put another thing, It's impossible. Only one thing. That's a lot. Therefore, we're making less suffering in the world, preventing ourselves and others to fall for the addiction to ease the pain. This is how we prevent addiction, by doing good. So imagine if we grow this behavior into a scale around the world, and we are openly making acts of kindness, making acts of something to make somebody else feel good, and you will feel good too. And so there you have it, you guys. My name is Shirley Henderson, and I want to see you succeed in every area of your life. I am on the side of humankind. And subscribe to my newsletter, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and just go ahead and do good. It'll make you feel better, and you will heal this world that it needs to be healed. You're going to be part of it. All right? Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. I love you. And I see you guys back.